Thank you very much for the very kind words. And of course, after such an introduction, you can only lose. First of all, I have to say that I'm very glad I'm back here, because until 2 years ago, I was also a member of the Committee of the Regions, and I miss you all, because I think it's a very creative and interesting place to work in. So I'm not going to speak about the need of fighting climate change and the measures we have to take. I want to tell you a little bit about the approach we follow to make it livable also on the local level. You know, the region of Flanders is 7 million people, and of course we have our plan, our approach. We support European goals, and we try to find out how can we do it. But in Flanders there are 300 cities, that are 300 task forces, 300 maybe committees that can be also mobilized. But what's the problem for those local cities, and also for a lot of individuals? They say minus 55%. What does it mean? What do I have to do? Can I make a difference? I don't know where to start. So for them it's a little bit akrabadakra, hocus pocus. They don't know what can I do. So I was thinking, because I'm a mayor myself already for 20 years, I say we have to make it very simple. Break it down to simple, understandable goals, and then we can really mobilize. And what did we do? We knew there was a covenant of mayors. 10,000 cities have signed that. Also, nearly every town has done it in my region. So I said, let's start there. Let's make a local energy and climate pact. Everybody has to sign it if they want to, but they have to engage themselves on 4 domains. 4 domains: greening, mobility, housing and water. Very simple. And we create very understandable goals. I give you on the greening 1 tree for every inhabitant in 2030, extra tree. So then it's easy. Say, I'm 60,000 inhabitants, so 60,000 trees. Where will we plant them? And everybody can imagine something about it. And they start thinking, where is there an area where we can start planting those trees? Second example, shared mobility. We want to have electric cars. We know that we need 66,000 charging points in the public domain. So how much is it for every city? For every 100 inhabitants, 1 charging point in the public domain. Okay, we are with 20,000. That's 200. Maybe in that street and that, and everybody starts thinking about it. And then you mobilize. Or we set 1 extra meter biking lane for every inhabitant. Okay, that's 10 kilometers for us. Okay, where can we do it in an efficient way? Next example, housing and renewable energy. We say for every 1,000 houses, you need to renovate collectively 50 in 2030. So, okay, then we know what we have to do. And with water, okay, we need that you create 1 cube meter of extra water capacity against 2030. So they all signed it, not all, 294 out of 300. That makes it credible. If you have 6, they don't, then it means something. You need always a few that say no. And we start working with them. And we had 64 organizations that also signed the pact. Climate organizations, organizations that work around shared mobility, and they engaged themselves to help those local communities. And when we did it, in all those communities, the debate started. It started, of course, in the local government. They had to decide it. Citizens spoke about it. And what are we going to do now? We organize in those local communities climate tables. That's where citizens, local government, organizations sit together and ask themselves, how can we get done those goals we engaged ourselves to? So that's a thing that's happening now. A second thing what we do, of course, we do a follow-up. We make a platform, we make a kind of a score. Who is the best? A little bit of competition. It's never bad. That's of course my background. I'm a liberal, so I need a little bit competition, but also cooperation. Because on that website, we don't not only put the figures, but we also put the best practices on it. So people learn from each other. We even agreed that, for example, in a dense city where there is no space for trees, they can negotiate with the city next door to say, you put more trees, we will do more shared mobility. So you get a debate throughout the whole of the community. And then what we see now is in every local community, people are mobilized to really act and do things. And there's a lot of creativity. There are cities now that give you a free tree if you put it in your front garden, because then everybody can see it and they can count it. But that's what we need. We need movement. We need discussion about it. Will those things alone help us to reach the goals? No, of course not. But it's the starting point. It's something where people start thinking in a concrete way, how can I make a difference? Me as a citizen, me as an enterprise, me as a local community. And it helps them to get involved in the debate. And of course we have to do more. And the regional government has to do more, the national government has to do more, Europe has to do more. But you create a kind, I call it an ecosystem. It's a good word in this environment, an ecosystem between the European level, the national level, the regional level, and also the local level. And we give a little bit of subsidies, a little bit of money, not so much, but just enough to get them on track and to support them. And so we will follow it up, and I think it's an interesting way to work, because what I always had, because I'm a lawyer, I'm not a climate specialist, when I heard people talking about it, also here in the European Parliament and so on, it's often very abstract, very theoretically. And to jump from the theoretic level to the very concrete one, it's a very big one for people. So we tried to make it a small step. And now I think we in Flanders have mobilized most of our local communities. They are working very well with us. And maybe it can be an idea for other regions and other countries to think about an approach like this. It's a very simple one, but it works. Thanks.